Oh, hello there, my loves. Lovely of you to drop in once more. Today, I'm just going to go through a load of paintings I've completed and ones that are just begun, really. It's the end of my 6 weeks holiday. So, this is the product of that time. I've been painting a lot more than usual. No writing and a little bit on the channels and all that, but mostly painting. So, yeah, I'm just going to pop them out one at a time. I'll start with the ones that aren't finished yet, and then we'll finish with the ones that are finished, if you don't mind. Okay, so let's just begin with the dregs, shall we say. So the first one, this one I think is dry now. Yeah, so this is just something of nothing at the moment. So I just started doodling in a painting way back along, and I thought I kind of wanted to do like a post-apocalyptic looking thing. So there's these strange things cavorting about. In the foreground there, over the top of this really dark background, there will be perhaps a street recognizable as being of our time, perhaps. So it's kind of it's a world or a version of reality in which we get invaded by strange things like that. They look a bit like the sandworms from June, but that's purely coincidental. That's that one. Okay, the next one is just a sky that I did. I don't know which way up it goes. Again, working from an apocalyptic palette, if you will. This is, it could be just a dawn sky or sunset, perhaps. I mean, it could be the other way around. I don't know. This one is still a bit wet, but perhaps a nuclear blast. I might do a mushroom cloud in the middle of that. I have no idea. It's just something I fancy doing. Okay, so right, other ones I haven't finished. This is one of those little ones. I don't know whether this will feature in the proposed book, but it's yeah. Again, this was just a doodle. That circle in the background, it's not. It could be a planet or a moon or whatever, but it's not quite round, is it? So that disturbs me slightly. So this one isn't finished. I'm going to do something perhaps drastic to it, but it doesn't really matter. It's just something to do. Oh, you bastard. Right, what else? Okay, so this one here I did on the live stream yesterday. Well, it would be yesterday for me. And it's just a collection of these kind of ribbons or three-dimensional strange shapes, completely abstract. It doesn't mean anything. This has gone through many iterations. So on the live stream, I wanted to knock back some of those colours. There was a kind of a fleshy pink colour for some of it. I didn't like it. So my partner Vanessa suggested perhaps an orange hue. So I went over with orange, and then I went about doing those kind of blue ribbons. But I'll pop up here. That's what it began as. It was a purely abstract painting using a palette knife. So it was largely determined by that. I didn't really deviate too much from that because I put the paint on quite thick, and you can't really go over it too much. Once it's dried, you get the kind of tram lines. There is a bit of that going on with the finished version, but yeah, I haven't liked this painting from start to finish. I like it a slightly more now, but it's still nothing special. Okay, another one is a do-over. So I'll pop it up now. I did this one previously. I did this on one of the first painting videos I did, just making up as I went along. Well, now I don't know why I got a bee in my bonnet about it, and I ended up doing this. So I've kind of changed the time of day. So previously it was in a kind of psychedelic daytime, in a kind of dream dimension, perhaps. Now I've made it into like a sunset, and you've got a kind of a great big hill or mountain in the background and clouds. It's, again, I'm not really happy with this. I also did like a red glaze over this, and then picked out some of the windows, so that it looks like there's people, it's being inhabited, and they've got their lights on. Again, yeah, I don't like that one. So, but this is one of the many paintings that I've had on eBay for, well, perhaps 2 years, and it's never sold. So and it's in our living room, and it's always staring me in the face. And I thought, I just want to change it because I'm bored of looking at it. But yeah, I might put my foot through that one. Incidentally, there was a painting I did on another live stream. This one, I think I've got an image of it still. I ended up destroying that one. I had a bad painting day a couple of weeks ago. And enough was enough. Took it outside, gave it a damn good thrashing, and slung it in the bin. But these things happen occasionally. Okay, so this is another one that's a work in progress. I think this is still wet. It's just a sky. I've shown this before, but I decided to redo it slightly just because I got impatient and I put my finger on it. I assumed it was dry, and I ended up taking a load of the paint off, so I had to repaint it anyway. So I don't know if I had an image of that previously, but it's just a sky, a kind of sunset perhaps, or perhaps the upper layers of atmosphere on a gas giant. So I'm considering doing a space station on this one. Yeah, perhaps. The thing that's annoying me is this band of light here isn't parallel to the other ones. It's slightly annoying me, so I'm going to have to change that. But it does look like sometimes when you've got the sun setting, there is a kind of abstraction of the sun itself, and it looks a bit odd. So it could be that. But anyway, that's going to be the background for a space station, perhaps. Okay, apologies. I'm slightly below par today just because I've got a headache that I've had all morning. It's this bloody rain. It's been raining all morning. It could be that. Or it could be I drank quite a bit last night, but not excessively, not more than my body can normally tolerate. So it's the weather. Anyway, so this next one, again, is a very old one. I did this one maybe 3 years ago, and it's just this young woman with an abstract background. This is one I reworked and never really liked it. Never sold, and I took it off eBay and didn't bother trying to sell it again. So, but then I thought, yeah, let's do another do-over. So I didn't like the narrowness of her shoulders and that. It looked odd before, so I decided to just do something odd with her hair and make it all splay out like that. I don't know if there's anything special now, but it was just at the beginning of the summer. I just wanted to just paint, and so I ended up doing lots of these pointless do-overs. Okay, so the next ones I show you are more or less finished, I think. So again, this is one that I did on a live stream. This one. So this one here, I've altered it quite a bit since the last time. I don't know if I had an image of it before. If I have, I'll pop it up there, but I don't know if I have. But yeah, I've since added lots more to it, different structures bolted onto it. And I erased a lot of the stuff up here because the perspective wasn't quite right. It was always bothering me. So I knocked it off, took it away. I've also got some red highlights as kind of lights going on in there. Now, I'm thinking of turning it this way. No, the other way, because it looks like you're looking up at a strange building, the edge of a building. So I'm going to do a bit more work on this to put maybe some vertical lines here, maybe something up there, maybe a moon or a planet, something else, a point of interest anyway. So there's that one. It turned out okay, that one, better than I thought it was going to. Okay, another one from one of the live streams. Some of you will remember this one. So this one here. So this is largely as it ended up being on the end of the live stream, other than the fact that I've just darkened all the shadows, defined it slightly better, given it a bit more atmosphere, and also I've put these kind of sunken pit areas that have a kind of texture to them. Yeah, so Yeah. One of you, I think it was Billy, said reminded you of one of my stories, Wonderworld. So yeah, I might use that as a cover, as a mock-up cover for the short story audiobooks that I'm thinking of doing. So a lot of these paintings will perhaps function nicely as retro science fiction covers, science fiction book covers, because I'm going to record some of the short stories I've done in the past that were in dark matter, and those will be the covers for them on the thumbnails of the videos. Because I'm just going to sling them on YouTube. I'm not doing Audible or anything like that. And what I might do then is later on write stories just here and there and record them for audiobook and just put them on as they come, because the problem is waiting until I've got a batch of stories big enough to fit in a book. I end up waiting forever to make it come together and for people to access them. So this way, at least people will be able to get them if they want, if they're interested in listening to these stories as they come. And then later on, perhaps in a book. But I've got so many different projects going on that even that may not happen. But I have these plans. Okay, the next one is a completely abstract one. But it got a great big ball in the background, or a planet. Again, this is could be a science fiction book cover in itself. Here I was playing around with transparency, really. So you can see the ball is, or the planet is very dark where the holes are, and then elsewhere it's only just observable. That was a bit of a nightmare to do. And the circle itself came in the form of one of our dinner plates. So there we are. Yeah, that was kind of fun to do, but again, a lot of work for something that might be just pointless. Lovely. Okay, I've got two left. This one here. This one took many forms, so I'll put these up now. It began as another kind of abstract one, again using just a palette knife, and then I put successive layers over the top until I arrived at this thing here, a stack of something or other, alien looking. But I was always racking my brain as to what the hell it could do, because it wasn't a finished entity in itself, but I ended up doing this. So we've got a strange kind of, it's a nude, obviously, but a kind of android version whereby her limbs have been kind of removed and she's got these tapered points, and the same goes for her head. There's no head there, but a very long elongated neck thing. I quite liked the look of that and the way she's kind of gazing off into the distance, and then just above her this very, very faint outline of a moon, perhaps seen in daylight. But I thought this could function well as a book cover, and I thought for the story that I did called Children of Trappist 5. So yeah, I think this design would be cropped to about there, and then above this it would just be sky, and then the title above it, perhaps. But there we are. But I've also tentatively titled that one Turrican, because it has a similar palette to the original Turrican game on the Amiga. Blue sky and kind of orangey brick or rock structures. Okay. Oh, let's have a sip. Okay, so the last one I'm going to show you is a painting I did a long time ago. So I think this was back in 2012, perhaps. So 12 years ago. This was right at the beginning when I started doing started doing nudes, really, I suppose. More figurative stuff. So it's a little bit rough around the edges. I'm molting again, all my silver hairs popping off. So it's a bit rough around the edges. I'll show you why. But straight after I painted it, my grandma, when she was still alive, she wanted to buy it straight away. So she ended up buying it for my granddad, who was in hospital at the time, so that when he got out of hospital, he'd have this painting to look at. Yeah, but unfortunately, they've both now passed away. So it was a few months before she did pass. She gave it back to me again. So I'm going to keep it just because it reminds me that she bought it. But here we are. It's quite a big one. And it's one of my hairs on the painting. I tell you what, I'm finding my hairs everywhere. I had a bit of toast earlier, and there was one of my hairs in the butter. If you ever come round for a cup of tea, you'll probably find one of my hairs in the cup of tea. Hopefully not a pube. Yeah, so there we are. So all I did the other day was about 3 weeks ago now. Is I mixed up a nice thick, dark burnt umber mixed with a bit of phthalo blue just to knock it down a bit, make it a bit darker. And I mixed it with the last of my old linseed oil, which had been reduced into a thick syrup. So it's caused it to form a kind of sheen. So it's almost like it's varnished, but it does make the central image pop a bit more. I also added a kind of this piece of shadow here, just to marry the dark background with this more subdued rendering in the middle. Now, if I'll photograph this, but it may not be in time for the video. You can't really see, but this painting is rough around the edges. But I think I've improved since then. But maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm just stuck now. I don't know. But when I look at it, I see lots of imperfections. So I think I am making progress, slowly. So there we are. That's the whole batch. Some of them finished. Some of them well and truly finished. Some of them works in progress. Some of them may get a fist through them and shoved in the bin. But that is always a risk we take when painting, my loves. Right, yeah, we'll leave it there. So apologies, I haven't been doing as many book reviews and book related stuff lately, but from this point onwards, there's going to be a lot more of that. Yeah, I've got some of this painting now out of my system, so hopefully, yeah, I'll think more about reading and, yeah, telling you about it if you want to hear about it. Anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you very much for watching if you have, and if you fancy any of these paintings, let me know. They'll just be winging their way to eBay in the next couple of weeks or so, so they'll be over there and they'll be reasonably priced, let's put it that way. Right, let's go. Cheers and cheerio.